Thursday afternoon, and then I'll print it out and also give it to him because I don't know, he doesn't always read his emails. So I'd rather just say, sit down, here you go. So I do both. I print it and I also email it to him every Monday.
So it's kind of like you customize your own little form, right?
Yes, it's not on a top 25. I created a sheet on Word. Yeah.
Can you print one out like the last one you gave me? Print it out so I can show it to him. Okay, just print it. It's coming right now. By the way, good stuff right here. Peter, I appreciate that. Hook up. Here's the deal. Why don't you guys hook up? One of you guys, sidelines. You go get names and numbers, and then the minute you get them, you now have an agreement that you're going to forward over to that person. That person creates a list for you. Or here's the deal. Why don't 4 or 5 of you guys get an assistant? I don't know, pay them $50 a week. Invest in your business. So it's 5 of you guys. Find someone that's pretty administratively sound, like in the base shop, or hire someone on, I don't know, YouTube.com or whatever the hell. Go get a person, and then in between 5 of you guys, that's $50 a week. You give them $250. There's plenty of people that will work putting lists and addressing stuff, administrative stuff, for $250 a month. And by the way, $250. That's like doing a little Uber deal, and it's a lot more. Put that on there. This is what it looks like. There you go. Put it on. Watch this. This is what it looks like. Can you make that a little bit bigger? Look at all these people. Here we go. Okay. Austin Humphreys. I met at Prospecting this day. Here's the telephone number. 24 Hour Fitness. Works at Target. 24 Hour Fitness. USC Master Grad. By the way, this is good. One of you guys were at Chamonix. Remember we were one time at Eden Garden? Big, black guy, Nigerian guy.
Yeah, Eden Garden?
Eden Garden, big, black, Nigerian guy. Graduate from USC. There it is right there. By the way, you guys don't be taking pictures of them and trying to jack my knee. He's a chemist. Look at this right here. Think he's smart? Hopefully he's smart enough to know that a chemist is not going to make him rich. Anyways, this is what it looks like. Okay? Met at Costco Gas. There it is right here. Jose. Bryce. On the flight. I met him on the flight. Korean guy. I met him in Augusta. He's from Newport Beach.
So you have a lot of these top 25 lists.
Of course.
You must have like a ton of them. I mean,
well, I'll get more. Yeah, I'll get more. Randy Hernandez, I called this guy today. He's at Remax Realtor. I met him. And then here's another guy. So just boom. By the way, no name. I forgot this guy. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no name. I don't know. Is it Carl? No? Yeah, Asian people get themselves English names, right? That's a real Asian guy. What's your name, dude? Kevin. Real Chinese guy, Kevin, huh? Did your mama put that on the birth certificate, or was it Wing Lee Hall? Anyway, take it off of there now. So, anyway. Thank you, sir.
Sorry, sir.
All right. Keep it right there in case I need it for something else. Yes, sir.
So, 19 years in business.
Yes, sir.
You look at, NBA players, the Hall of Famers, like Kobe Bryant's been in the league for 20 years, the Tim Duncans, and they retired and things like that. What drives you at this point in your career now, in your time now? What is your drive? Because I know it's change or...
How about the next million? And then the next one. And then the next one. Is that a good answer?
Yeah.
Are there things you want right now that you can afford?
Yes.
So do I. Guess what? I still can't afford a private jet. But I will one day. But I will one day. Make no mistake about it. One day I'm going to say, hey, remember I told you about the private jet? It's sitting at the hangar at Ontario Airport. Let's roll. You know what time the flight leaves? When we get there. Is it not going to happen? Yeah, I'm right it's going to happen. I just know it's going to happen. I'll make $1 million a month consistently, and $1 million income per month will allow me to buy wholly or fractional ownership of a jet, so therefore we can fly wherever we want to go. I'm not doing this first class with United Airlines anymore. And they're sorry ass peanuts. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Question.
Curious, would you ever pay for leads?
Sure.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. If you got to go buy them, then jump, Froggy. I have no problem. But if you close business, you think I have a problem overriding your bought leads? No problem's there. Yes, sir.
I have a question for you. we're out prospecting a lot of families. So say you run across me and my family at the mall with my kids, you build a relationship. How's that phone call looking to book the KTP? That's what we've been doing. And then how are you transitioning into the KTP from the kitchen table?
Again, intuition. How close did you get with them? Did you introduce the business to them right then and there? Did you get deep enough into getting to know them so therefore you can now transition into business, opportunity, change your life, that kind of stuff? So here's one thing I can tell you, Chris, and I've watched you. The more you do it, the more you sort of start figuring out. Let me give you guys all an example. You ever created a puzzle, like put a puzzle together?
Yes.
The more pieces you get together, the clearer the puzzle got.
Yeah.
Okay, and then towards like the last 20% of the puzzle was a piece of cake, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The beginning was a bitch.
Yeah.
But at the end, the puzzle's like, oh, I got this. By the way, you start to know how to do it. But okay, where's the little squares? You see where the squares at the end, and then which one looks like it's flat. So let's put all the flat ones on. Let's create the frame of the puzzle, and then you kind of fill it in. All the ones that were kind of yellow, you put all the yellow ones because there's like this tree that was kind of yellow. It's fall. So I'm doing a puzzle with my son. I'm like, okay, this is a lot of common sense and logic, but you got to put it together. You got to figure it out. The last 20% of the puzzle, it's really easy, but the beginning 20% of the puzzle was really difficult because you're not clear. All that you have is somewhat what the box of the puzzle looks like. You all with me? Okay, so you're prospecting right now. You're sort of at the beginning. So you're in that tough 20%. Can you get through that? Most people don't have the ability to get through the first 20% of the tough work. And that's where most people quit. That's where most people throw in the towel. That's when most people get burned out. Well, I decided I'm going to get through that 20% into the meat and potatoes of it, and then the last part, kind of like where I'm at right now, I can prospect at will. I'm in the last 20% of that puzzle. Are you with me?
Yes.
Keep going, keep getting better, keep getting intuitive, figure it out, use some common sense, debrief. You and my kid go out and prospect. Okay, honey, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? Record yourself while we're prospecting. Why don't you guys do that? Record yourself, like kind of like secretly, like turn it on, and like, hey, you look sharp. What are you doing? So record yourself, and then go back and study what you said. Like, I shouldn't have said it that way. And then I don't have a problem. You bring it in front of me and like, let me hear your prospect, and I'll say, you kind of goof right here. You should have said this. You should have said this way. You should have said it that way. You can coordinate it in a way where now you just get better. Here's the deal. As long as you keep doing it and keep improving at least an inch per phone call, or half an inch, or 3/4 of an inch, or whatever kind of inch, and as long as you keep improving, you'll get from I'm not really good at this to I'm not bad, I'm actually decent, I'm pretty good, I'm really good, I'm gonna kick some ass. You understand? It's a process. It's this. Be willing to go through the process. Remember, before you're a master, you're typically a disaster. So everybody starts out as a disaster. Like, remember when you first started dating? Disaster. You don't even know what to say. Nervous, said the wrong thing. And then after a while, like enough dates, like, oh, I got this shit down. What's up, girl? That's Fred right there. He's a pimp. Y'all with me? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just wanted to share with everyone, just I think like 2 weeks ago for my city, they sent me a directory with all these numbers. And maybe if you check with what your city sends you, sometimes they'll send you a little booklet. And I don't know if it's because my mom has her business that they send us a business directory, or maybe every person.
Director of all the businesses?
Yeah, that, and also just a bunch of people in the back, and they have their number, their address too, their names.
Wow. Yeah.
And I called them and I said, would it be is it okay to call these people? And they said, if we bought them, go ahead. So
Okay.
there's
Yeah.
hundreds.
That's not necessarily the preferred method of prospecting, because remember, they've never seen you. It's a cold phone call. Remember, the cold market is cold. You follow? So by the way, businesses have all sorts of cold callers calling them every day. Yeah. Like if you own a restaurant, how many people call you every day trying to sell you stuff? You with me?
Yeah.
Like providers and internet and cable and sources of all sorts are trying to sell you something. If you own a business, so business owners get tons of cold calls. I don't necessarily want to be in the mix of all these cold calls. I'd rather meet a person face to face. I meet on Cinema face to face, and at least we have some sort of facial recognition. There's a connection, especially if I took a few moments to get to know her when I met her.
Yeah.
And that's why the gym is so key. When you're there at the gym, they're not in a hurry to leave. like conversations that you start with people, like where they're pulling out of the elevator and like you're trying to talk to them. No, they're usually, they gotta go. So I don't put myself in scenarios where people gotta go. I put myself in a position where they're right there and they're not in a hurry to go, and we can really have a quality conversation, at least for 30 seconds. Don't be in a hurry to quickly exit from the conversation. The more you can entertain the conversation. Now, don't do it too much, but don't do it too little to the point where you just got too little and then they don't, you call them like, who, what, who are you? You're a freak. Stop calling me. So connect it. All right. And of course, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. You all with me?
Yes.
Here's a key. Get through the first 20%. Remember the puzzle? Get through the first 20%. Fight like hell to get good at this. You get good at prospecting, you get good at getting names and numbers over and over again, and guess what? At one point, you're never going to be scared. What's it like to live a life scared of talking to people? You got this internal fear, and you're always nervous, you got anxiety, you're a little suspect. I don't know about you, but I hated the feeling of always feeling unsure. I love the feeling of certainty. I love the feeling like this is a piece of cake. I'm dominating my space. I love that feeling. But it takes work, and it takes constant dedication, and it takes a serious commitment to get to the last 20%, starting at the first 20%. Lenya, you with me? This is where you and Anthony need to really blow up because you guys have it. And here's the other thing. I just prospect people. It's like, I'm not going to be able to work with a lot of people, so I just start giving them to some of you guys. I gave Joe Lewis a guy. I'm going to start like, if I see that you're serious, I'm going to just start giving some of you guys, some of these people to you. Like, I don't even want to map and here, like, boom, just take them. But be worthy of it. Show up. Be loyal. I'm going to hook you up if you're loyal. The day we do some big things, I'm going to go back and look at my organization. Who's been loyal? Who's shown up? Who's a pleasure to work with, not a pain in the ass to work with? Isn't that something? Who's high profit, low maintenance versus high maintenance, no profit? Do you pay a plug-in? Your $60 plug-in, are you at least current with that? Or do we have a problem collecting your $60? That's just a little, that tells us who you are. Be on top of this stuff, right? Get committed to this. Be really good at getting good at WFG. I was so fired up about getting good at something. What are you good at? Be good at WFG. Go with me?
Yeah.
Questions? Okay, yes sir, go ahead.
At the gym when you're prospecting, most of the conversation you keep it like gym. What percentage is it like talking about gym and working out? And
Start off with the gym. Say you got a certain T-shirts, like I don't know, I get rings, for example. Yeah, that's right. You know, there's like Nike ones. I get rings or something. Dude, that's such a cool shirt. Who's your favorite player? What basketball team do you like? We start doing that. How often do you come to the gym? Are you married? They don't even know it, but I'm qualifying them right there. Yeah. They don't even think I'm doing it in a way. So what do you do for work, man? So start off with the T-shirt. How often do you come? Married? Do you have kids? What do you do? And hey, man, I'm just curious. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being best, how ambitious are you?
I'm ambitious, very ambitious.
We need to talk, bro. Give me your name and number. Let's get together. When's your next day off? How much information did I get from that guy right there in 2 minutes? Y'all with me? Yeah. Ray, you feel me? Oh, can you do this? Yes. But you're afraid of rejection and you live in a nice little bubble, paycheck to paycheck, because you don't have the courage to, we call these courage, right? You don't have the courage to get out of your little comfort zone. So talk to people. If you talk to enough people, you open up the world to all these possibilities. Make sense? The more you do it, you'll get to the other side of the 20%. The last 20% is a piece of cake. That's where all the money's at. That's where all the fun is at. But remember, you go through the first 20%. By the way, you've already done it several times, Art, so you're already in SMB. You already can reference the fact of what it takes to get to SMB. How many SMBs do you have? Well, you can let them know, this is what I did to get to SMB.
What do you recommend, G? Doing it on a schedule, prospecting, or prospecting as you go?
I recommend both. I recommend you just do it. Make sense? So let me tell you what I don't have. It's like, hey, from 3:30 to 4:38, I go prospecting and get names. No, I get names and numbers all the time. Everywhere I go. By the way, if it's not within that time, should I not get the number? No. Oh, so I get names and numbers all the time. I just make it a habit of getting names and numbers everywhere. I'm in an airplane, talking to the guy. I'm in the lobby, talking to the guy. I'm at the dentist, talking to the guy. I'm at Starbucks, talking to the guy. I'm at Ralph's talking to the guy. I'm at the gym talking to the guy. I'm at church talking to the guy. I'm at the community center. I'm at the Chamber of Commerce meeting talking to the guy. Just talk to people. The right ones are looking. The right ones will come. Think about it. You were out there at one point, not in here in WG. Now you're in WG, but at one point you were out there. Now you're with us. There's tons of people that are out there that need to be with us. ¿Entiendes? Okay. Yes.
I don't mean to change the conversation, but at the kitchen table, I've been finding a lot of IRAs. You know, like Primerica does buy a term, invest a difference.
Okay.
So I have a gentleman, for example, he's 30 years old. He's putting $100 into an IRA. I'm a little suspect to touch that money, transition to an IUL, because it's only $100. We are talking about replacing his term because we found something cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
But what do I do with that IRA?
You take the money from the term and the IRA, and you run an IUL illustration, and you show them how that IUL money down the road is tax-free versus the IRA money is taxable.
One thing with it, I did that, and the coverage on the IUL to make it make sense for the money he's putting in isn't sufficient. So my concern is leaving him underinsured.
Okay, well, no, that's a good point. What you also can do is you ask him that the money he's putting into his term and his IRA is not enough commitment to his insurance and his investment in order for it to make it go.
So at that point,
yeah, you upsell him. Okay. Someone's already doing, say, they're putting $38 for term and $100 for IRA. With me? That's $138. So the guy's 35 years old. So here's the deal. So I hate to tell you, lay it to you this way, brother, but $138 a month to adequately protect your family and provide a comfortable retirement, you're really shortchanging yourself. I want you to commit to another $100 a month. Can you comfortably do another $100 a month on top of your $100 and your $38 for your term? And you'll find out how many people say yes. Can you cut bottled water? Can you cut Starbucks? Can you cut some of your other little leisurely expenses? Can you cut some fast food? Looks like you can use it. Understand? Be straight up with people. Here's the deal. People are blowing their retirement money on stupid stuff right now. Don't be afraid to ask for more money that people are putting in right now. You go buy a car, don't you always walk out with a higher payment? Like you trade in a car, your payment was, $413, you walk out with $538. True? Yes. Every time you go buy a car, you walk out with a higher payment. And you complain about how high this one was, that they gave you a higher one, and somehow you still did it. True? Isn't that true? Everybody does. No one says, hey, I turned in my car, got another car, my payment went down. That's bullshit. That almost never happens. And you get more money for down payment. So, you with me, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Be straight up with people. It's like, let me say to all of you guys that are putting $100, $200 a month for your retirement, dude, who's kidding who? You think you're going to retire with $200 a month? Do the math. $200 a month times 12 equals $2,400. Times 10 years is $24,000. Like, who's fired up about $24,000 plus a little interest over the course of 10 years? Here's the deal. You want to retire? You want to have a fat account when you retire? You need to put away $500, $600, maybe $1,000 a month. You stop kidding yourself. All these people are doing onesie, twosie, hundreds. That's BS. That's like little league stuff. That's what you should be doing for your kid. For you should be $800 a month. You need to be really vested in your future. The minute you make extra money should all go to putting away for your future, not blowing it and buying new stuff that you don't need. Stop trying to impress people who don't give a shit about you. Y'all with me?
Yes.
That's like real talk here. For a longest time, I held back on buying stuff that I wanted that wasn't a need. Do you need it or do you want it? There was a whole bunch of wants that I didn't get, but the needs were necessary. Guess what you need? You need food. You need gas. You need a roof over your head. You need some clothes. Be wise with all that stuff. Be wise with all that stuff. So many people are blowing money that should be socked away for their retirement. They're blowing it on other stupid stuff. Like people have pets. 2 dogs, dog food, and they're living paycheck to paycheck. Really? You got 2 dogs and you're living paycheck to paycheck? And that money that you're spending on these dogs could be going to your retirement account? But you're busy over here with Fido and Fluffy? No, Mom, that's like, are you freaking kidding me? By the way, that's some of you guys in the crowd right here. I don't mean to offend you guys, but look at the reality. You're more interested in your little 4-foot companion than you getting rich when you're old. I don't know about you, but I'm really concerned about getting rich when I'm old And I don't have no dogs. We got a fish like he's this big. It's like 39 cents worth of food. That's about as much as I have for that. But you all with me on that?
Yeah.
Now, if you're loaded and you want your little, show-off poodle, okay, I get it. But you're living paycheck to paycheck and you got pets. You guys know how many people do that? I walk into someone's house and I do their financial plan. They got a Great Dane in the backyard. Son of a bitch eats $600 worth of food a month. Plus the vet, plus vaccines, plus they got to wash them. Then they order the dog car wash or whatever, they put them in there. A mobile car wash at their house. $75 a week or a month or whatever that is. Really? I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me, but there's a reason why people are where they are. It's their financial choices. None of you guys, please, cry and quit. Like, G doesn't like dogs. Oh my God, he's inhumane. I never did. I was thinking about going to vet school. Listen, you can already tell, like, people are not laughing. You got pets. I'm just telling you. By the way, do my kids want a pet? Yes. That says you can have a fish. He's that big. We fed him, now he's this big. Questions? Go ahead, fire away. By the way, who just got offended with that? Be honest with me. Who, like, you shouldn't have said that, G. I'm kind of a little... You can admit it. Go ahead. Who has a pet?
I got pets, but I got no kids.
You got what?
I have a pet, but I have no kids.
You would have more money if you had no pet.
I'd have less money if I had kids. I'm playing.
All right. Let's make this fun. Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Guillermo, what happened when people prefer real estate versus IUL?
They prefer real estate versus IUL? You're saying they want to buy real estate versus buying an IUL? Like you draw the comparison?
Yes, I want to know.
That's a really long conversation, and we need to get really clear with what their outcome is. And I think that a lot of people right now have that sort of mentality. They think real estate is the solution, and it's actually one of the biggest mistakes they're making. Let's just get our thoughts together on this right here. When you buy a house, does it make money for you? No. Do you now have payments? Yes. Do you have multiple payments? Yes. So when you buy a house, you have principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and maintenance. So let's just get that clear. You buy a house, you give them a down payment, now you bought debt every single month, and included in that debt is principal, interest, taxes, insurance, and then maintenance. Is the roof going to leak? Is the wall going to tweak? Is the water heater, air conditioning, is all that stuff going to go wrong sooner or later? Yep. Yes, ask me. I got an invoice from Paul not too long ago. I got another freaking bill. Shit always goes wrong with a house. So you buy a house, you ain't buying no investment. You bought yourself an expense. You bought yourself payments. Now, the theory is that with time, the house is going to appreciate. Okay, that's true, but when it appreciates, it doesn't actually give you cash. You can't like go to the wall and say, okay, give me my $2,000. You can't do that. So you got sort of like this invisible money out there, but if you want that money, you got to go borrow it. Y'all with me? Yeah. So it is the biggest fallacy people can have out there that buying a house is a good investment. That's bullshit. An investment makes you money, not takes money from you. You buy a house to live in, I get it, that's for housing, so you're buying a house, but understand you're not necessarily buying an investment. You bought expenses. Now you need it to live in, I understand that, but if you bought it with the idea that that house is your investment, you got the wrong idea. Wrong idea. Down the road, 15, 20 years, that house can really go up in value. You can sell it, and then once you sell it, you typically transfer that equity to another house, which means more payments, more taxes, more insurance, more maintenance, and typically your taxes are higher. Everybody with me on that? Versus you buy an IUL. Does an IUL have taxes?
No.
Is there a principal?
No.
No. Is there interest? Like, are you paying principal and interest? No. So in IUL, you're contributing money to the cost of insurance. You do pay your fees, and then the rest of it goes to your savings. That savings is liquid. With time, you're able to pull that money out, but you don't have the the ongoing expenses that are unexpected in an IUL versus a house. You with me? So you got to get that really clear to them, and then draw the Franklin T. So if I were you, I draw my Franklin T. So this is your house. This is all the good and bad that goes with your house. This is an IUL. This is all the good and bad. So we're sort of comparing apples to oranges, but we shouldn't compare. But since you do want to compare, then let's compare. Let's talk about what's good over there, what's not so good over there, and get real clear with that. So I hope you guys all got that. What are the 5 things? What's the first one? No, interest. First, you pay a lot of interest. Okay, so you buy a house, you got interest. Then you pay a little bit to the principal. And then you have property taxes. And then you have homeowners insurance. And then you have maintenance. Ongoing maintenance. If you have a pool, more maintenance. If you have a big yard, you got a gardener. Then you have maintenance with the mechanical, with the air conditioning, with the heating, with the plumbing, with the roof, with the walls, with the flooring. I have expenses on my house almost every month. I'm cutting a check to someone for some sort of service being done to my house. Every month I cut a check to my gardener, to my landscaper. Every month I got a check from my pool guy. Almost every month, the TVs, the audio, the flooring, the light bulbs, the plumbing. I mean, there's expenses all the time with a house. The bigger the house, the bigger the expenses. Make sense? Connie, you're a real estate escrow person. Exactly what I'm talking about. Is that true or what? True. Okay. So much for that. Yes, sir.
If we can continue touching on that, how does that relate to income property? We have family with a lot of income property.
Okay, well,
that's the best thing on planet Earth.
Well, that's not the best thing on planet Earth, number one. And by the way, not everybody's cut out to be a landlord. Not everybody's cut out to be a landlord. You buy income property, that means typically you're well capitalized. You go buy, say, 4 units, and the 4 units are $800,000. Well, you need to come in with 20-30% down. That means you have a lot of money to actually go buy the property. You also got tenants that pay and sometimes don't pay. Bless you. That pay and sometimes don't pay. You got property taxes. You have homeowners insurance. You have principal and interest, and you certainly will have a lot of maintenance. Tenants are really good at complaining, aren't they? Yep. Some of you guys are tenants. You're always bitching to your landlord. Tell me that's not the truth. So that's that. So by the way, I have some of that stuff. That's part of my portfolio. That's not my entire portfolio. Just having all your money in real estate is one of the biggest cardinal sins to invest in. Everybody who has all their money in real estate, when the market goes down, everything they own all goes down at the same time. You should diversify. You should have some here, some here, some here. You should have 4, 5, 6 buckets where your money's invested. By the way, our buckets are now like into the 20s. We have like 20 different buckets where we put money in. I love high profit, low maintenance investments. Don't you? Right. High profit, low maintenance. I just love those. Don't call me, don't bitch, don't moan. Just make me a lot of money. I love those. Like recruits. High profit, low maintenance. And then there's the other ones that do the opposite. We kind of love those too. Not as much. All right, we're good? I think our guests are ready. Give yourselves a big round of applause. By the way, hey, you guys, we have a meeting after the meeting. We have some major announcements, so please, nobody leave. Listen to me, nobody leave. We have a meeting after.